Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that we are officially ready to start the 2018 Floodgates cycle. Now, we're kind of redoing how we do the Floodgates this year, and I want to explain a little bit about that first for those of you who are either new or haven't heard me talk about this before. We're being super casual today. I'm just hanging out, in a regular t-shirt, right? No real green screen effect or anything, to really explain this to you guys. So here's the deal. I have a lot of patrons. I have, in fact, as of this exact moment in time, I have 283. Nope, sorry, 385. Now, it's worth noting that a lot of those aren't valid because a whole bunch of people are declined or fraudulent or whatever. I'm looking at right here. There's a fraud account. There's a fraud account. But regardless. I know there's a decent amount of you. There's a hell of a lot more than, I don't know, say about 40, which is how much we had for several of the Floodgate cycles up to I'd say about the last one, which is where things really got intense, because last cycle we put out the Floodgates, and then so many people requested so quickly that I basically had a little over a year's worth of requests in about a week. And so I had to take down the post about a week later because we had the problem where some people would be, responding to the post months later, long after the floodgates closed. And to be clear, I will be shutting down this post once the floodgates close again and deleting this video just to make it nice and clear. But the point is, I have so many patrons now, I can't just say everyone gets a pick anymore. It's not feasible. I'm barely capable of keeping up with doing one rumination a week, plus the television stuff on Mondays and Tuesdays, as is. I can't increase my workload at this point. I'm struggling to keep up as is. So unfortunately, what we're going to do is a little bit of a different system. Now, I've actually got a spreadsheet already kind of thrown together. It's very crude, nothing fancy. I'm going to go ahead and link it in the bottom of this video here, as well as in the post that it will be containing, Floodgates Open. And what I want you guys to do is to either respond in this post or respond in this video with any games or movies or whatever it is that you would like to nominate for the Floodgates. And then what we're going to do is we're going to vote on it. Now, I've been referring to this as the Patron Council in my head, because the general idea is, and this already actually started happening last year, several patrons will get together and say, I'd really like such and such. Would you really like such and such? Yeah, I'd really like such and such. And so multiple people will pool together to make something happen that otherwise wouldn't. It's one of the reasons we got several of the more expensive and expansive rumination requests done last year. So the idea is I want to encourage you to do that. I'll be opening up a Floodgates channel on the Discord, and like I said, I'm going to be leaving this post up and this video up so you can use the comments and the comments on both the video and comments on the post in order to discuss this between yourselves however you'd like to. I will try to facilitate this as best as I can by keeping that spreadsheet as up to date as possible with all nominations and whatnot. I'll also be leaving this up for a while because we're still in the nomination phase, after all, and I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to get this. That's one of the reasons why we're opening this floodgate so early. For those of you who've been keeping track of our schedule, we will not even be starting the first videos for the 2018 Floodgate until April. That will be April 1st, or April 1st, I should say. The first Friday of April will be the very first rumination request that we actually do for this particular Floodgate. So we got lots and lots of time, but as always, I would like to get that done as early as possible because of obvious reasons. I need to work in advance. So anyways, I'm rambling. The point being, go ahead and put your nominations out. Now, let's go ahead and discuss the limitations for anybody who just hasn't heard of it. First of all, no television shows. That's just... Now, I have made, I think, one exception ever for a television show, and it was for someone who put in a significant amount of money for it, and it was a very specific case. So while I say no TV shows, I am willing to bend, especially if multiple people get together and nominate it or put together their polling power or whatever on it. Second thing is what I want to put forward as well. It's kind of this weighting concept. Now, this will matter more for the voting than it will for the nominations, but I do have a list. In fact, I've got a spreadsheet right there on my second monitor of every single one of you, how much you've put in total, how much you're putting in now, if your card went fraudulent, blah, blah, blah. So all of you guys, I have a lot of data for exactly what you've put in and how much and when. So basically what I'm trying to say is, to use a completely made-up example, let's say you've put in a total over the course of, however long you've been a patron, $3 to the show, and you say, I would really like you, Lore, to do a rumination on the entire Legend of Zelda series, I'm going to say no, and I think it's fairly obvious why. On the other hand, if you are someone who has put in, $300 to the show, or if you're many different people who have all put in like $30 for the show, then I will consider it far more carefully because there's more weight to the request. I hope this makes a degree of sense to you guys. That will also matter for nominations, but that's primarily an aspect of voting. Let's talk about the forbidden stuff really quick. I actually have an updated list of forbidden stuff on the website. But the really important things is nothing explicit, which should be obvious. No television, which should be obvious. And no... I'm trying to think how to put this. I would prefer not to do... Okay, here's the thing. The only thing that's actually forbidden is a game called Hellblade Senua. Any game like that will also be similarly forbidden. I want to make that clear. This is actually the most open I've ever made the Floodgates cycle. I have never had this few restrictions on what I will ruminate on. I may regret that. All I ask is that you guys acknowledge and understand that if you request me to ruminate on Resident Evil 7, understand that I do not like that game, and I will not like that game, so I'll be doing my outsider's perspective on it rather than a typical rumination. I just want you guys to be fully cognizant of that, but I'm still going to allow it if you guys really want to go for that. I think that kind of covers everything. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, etc. Otherwise, thank you for your support, guys. I'm very happy to continue being able to do this, and I really, really hope that I've been able to provide some measure of entertainment or company or thought-provokingness or whatever over the course of however long you've been a patron and however long you will be a patron. Thanks, guys.